Hello again, this is Andy at Handy Andy, and just want to show you a few quick things on a client's roof right here, just because it illustrates a few things that we've been talking about lately, either online or in different forums, and a few things to see. This particular customer has had a number of people out here on this roof. They've done different things with it, they've had different issues with it, and it just kills me because some of the stuff is very basic. They've had a lot of leaks in this area right here, and when we climb up on the roof, you'll kind of see why. One of the things I like about our business is, for the most part, 90-some% of the stuff, I swear to God, is common sense. Some of us have it, some of us don't. I fortunately am blessed with it and seem to do well with it. But just basic things on a roof. This is a newer section to the house in terms of the roof, and you'll see this is the common stuff that we're looking for. Hopefully the camera's going to pick it up. But you see right there, that's what we call an open toe board hold, where when they were working on this roof, they nailed down a board so they could support themselves and do their work. And they either came back and forgot to fill that thing, or they dropped down here a little bit lower, like here, and they put an asphalt sealant in there, which will drop out anyway in a few years. The other thing we'll show you real quick, these are just a cheap section of plastic gutter guards, and you can see they look fairly clean on top. The problem this customer is going to have, and this is what no one's telling her about gutter guards, with these leaves, most of the gutter products will work somewhat with these, but the next row in are those pine trees. And you see the pine needle stuck here. I don't care what system. If you've got one, show it to me. I want to see it because I want it on my house. I've tried almost all of them. None of them work for me, so I clean my gutters. But when you take something like this, you see these pine needles? This is what she's going to get stuck up in here. All right. But then even worse, if you pull this back right here, take a little peek, and what do you got down here? We got Halloween coming up. You can see my finger sort of in there. That's all mud and sludge. Now the interesting thing about that mud and sludge is that same mud and sludge is going to form in any gutter system, because you got grits and granules coming off this roof, and they get into every single system that I've ever seen. And we'll get more to that later. A couple other things to point out here. Anywhere, if you've got a gutter guy, a roof guy, a carpentry guy, a handy Andy, whoever it is trying to do something on your house, make sure your gutters where they hit the wall. If the builder didn't do it properly, you need to spend the money and do it properly, because it's safeguarding your house. So many people forget that the exterior of your home is the armor for your home. You forget about it because you're more interested in the kitchen or the great room or the master bath and all those living spaces that you use every day. But without this outside performing properly, it's going to cost you big money inside. It's going to hit your wallet hard. And that's what's happening to these folks here. They've already been through several roofers. We've been invited out to look at some things. You want to have kick-out flashing. Anywhere you got a gutter meeting the side, see how that shifts right there? There should be a cut into this brick with a piece of flashing that comes out and throws water back in. It's not as awful here because you got a roof underneath it to catch any water, but you really want to kick the water away from your house. The next thing here is this step flashing, and from the ground it looks like it's done properly both here at the rear and in the back, and this is a pretty nice home. This step flashing, the upper edges of that flashing should be cut back into the mortar, which you see here, and then the mortar sealed over it. Here what you've got is you've got a little, I don't know if you can see with the light here behind my finger. I'll try to get out of your way. Maybe, sort of. The light is so glaring up here. See this? This is just adhesive that they've glued this faux step flashing in. It's not sealed to anything, and right now, heavy rains, water's going right through it. Not good at all for anybody. So this needs to be redone and stepped into the brick properly. The next problem we're going to have, and you may see me fall on my butt here in a second, but we're going to go around this corner of this roof and show you what the real problem is. And here's a skid right here, another toe board hole right through the shingle. That's an active leak. And everybody's been out here because in this corner, lo and behold, as I come around it here, if I don't fall on my butt, if I do, it was nice knowing everybody. This is the problem right here. They've lost flooring downstairs in this house 2 or 3 times already because this thing is flooded. And it's unbelievable to me that no one has talked to them about this. Everybody's talking to them about a new roof and 6-inch gutters and all those obvious things, right? But this right here, you got, it's not a huge section. It's like 6 by 14 in here. All right, and we'll go up one more roof so you can see it better. But you've got a fifth of the roof dumps water into this little area. And you see what the Einstein solution has been? You can kind of see some sealant down this valley. My guess is that these valleys aren't flashed at all. And you'll see as we go up on these roofs around through here, somebody came through here, some whiz kid or some handyman or whoever, maybe even the builder, I don't know, came through here and sealed these things. That's a temporary fix. But look at what's happening, and I'll show you as I get further up the roof. All this water comes down in this corner. You got this upper section of roof drains to this gutter, which drains to that downspout, which backs water up this way, because all it's going is in that little area right there. And you can see what's happening. That's why I love this business, because it's so common sense. A plus B plus C equals rotted wood behind the downspout. So all that rotted wood, if it's not getting water at it, guess what? It's not gonna rot. It's just not. That thing's rotted all the way through. I can put my finger through it. So what's happening is you got water that's coming down off this upper end of the roof here over the keeping room, hitting this corner. Got nowhere to go. See all the caulk that's failed in there? So with real heavy rains, light rain, it's probably going right through down to that gutter, no problem. Heavy rain, downpour rain, we got water going inside the house. And if it hits it the wrong way, it's going inside this 2-story or 1-story living room in here, great room behind this wall right here, or into the keeping room, which is here, and it's going to ruin those floors. The water's going to come from somewhere. And here's, one of your biggest sources, and this is the stuff that drives me absolutely mad. Lots of people have been up here looking at this roof. She definitely has an issue with some of these shingles. These shingles are architectural shingles. They should last 30 years. These shingles on this roof are probably, I'm just guessing, maybe 10. I don't really know. I don't know the history of the house, and it's really hard to tell. But they're not in very good shape. They don't have good grit. They look good from the ground. But you've got a lot of them that have bent backwards. This one I actually straightened out, but you'll see some of these lower tabs on the architectural shingles were installed bent like that. The wind didn't bend them. They just left them bent over and kept moving, and now they've pretty much ruined those shingles. So the client is looking at a new roof, not just for those reasons, but I don't think any of these valleys in this whole roof were ever flashed properly. And what we'd like to do in here, and what we're going to propose in here, is we're going to propose to take up these rows of shingles through here and come back up to the roof and come in here with a membrane and seal it. No one ever sees back in here, so it doesn't have to match the rest of the roof. We're looking at performance. There's no way to keep this stuff out of here, so periodically someone's got to get up on the roof once a year and clean these areas out. And unfortunately, that's the cost of these wonderful living plans on these houses with these great rooms and different angles and 2-story great room and keeping room. This is what you wind up with. There's no way around it. So you just have to adapt to it and be ready for it. Out here in the gutter, this is what I'm talking about with this grid. And this is just a small section of run on a very, not a very big section of roof. And you see what happens here. And then you've got the downspout is clogging here, so the water's backing up this way, and the water's getting into the house in this corner as well. It's all basic stuff. What we'd suggest that she does out here, in addition to the roof, change these back gutters to 6-inch with hidden hanger screws. The front gutters on a 5 are fine. Always use hidden hanger screws. See how loose this gutter is right here? Every time it gets a load of water in it, it bends it down. And then when the water releases, it goes, breeze comes back up. And over time, it'll just fall off the house, literally. But here's what makes me mad. All these people looked at the roof, right? Connect the dot. Right here, you're gonna see, there's an open leak. That's a nail that's come through the shingles, and look where it is. 4 feet away from this downspout, so the water's running right through here. In a light rain, a little bit of water in the house, no big deal. In a heavy rain, you get a lot of water going right through that one nail. Awful. I'm gonna try and go up on the roof here. Just bear with me if I fall or slide or whatever happens here. All right, we're up on the main roof. A couple things to look at. These vent boots aren't that old. This is a $1 boot, cheap boot. It's actually about $4 now. One we use are about 20. We want the metal bases. And why is, if you look across the way at this customer's house right here, he's actually not a customer, but he should be. Beautiful roof, great shape. That vent boot right there is split and leaking at the bottom. So every time it rains, bathroom's getting wet. See the edges of this vent boot right here? See the gap is never sealed. So it's always gotten water. This is where they split on the backside. So their vent boots are still in good shape, but we would replace those. But check out these valleys. I've never seen a house like this. Every single valley. This had to have been the builder's fix. Every single valley in this house is sealed with some sort of a sealant that you can see. This one was an asphalt sealant. See all the cracks in it? Asphalt in the Atlanta market is a 3-month fix. That's it. Nothing more. So it's really too bad, because if this roof had been done right, we wouldn't be talking about a new roof. And of course, it's got OSB decking under here too. And you see they paid somebody here to come in and repair this section of roof. Lowe's is right down the street. just get yourself some shingles that match and do it right. Nobody wants to do it that way anymore. And then you've got rotted fascia board here, because this little return on the gutters run the water right into it. And then they made some attempt at flashing here. But as you look at the roof line, it's just a shame. It really is. And so what ends up happening is, for a homeowner, you've got to go through a whole bunch of different people. And on roofs, it isn't always about price, and it shouldn't be. Make sure that the people you're using top-rated materials from good suppliers, that they've got a decent name in business, and get some good quotes, get some good references, see what's going on in the market. This is a difficult area where they've got this bay, this breakfast area coming off the kitchen, I believe, and I don't believe that valley was ever flashed. So those are their main areas of issues on the roof. Some of the things that you're seeing, this kind of silt right here is what builds up in everybody's gutters. Mine, yours, Mickey Mouse's, people in Disneyland, wherever they are. And no matter what the gutter system is, whether you use something cheap like that or something higher end, you're gonna have problems with it. It's just, it is what it is. And your best bet, honestly, with these things is to have somebody come out periodically. These gutters haven't been cleaned in a long time on this house. And you can see, these are clear. Those down there are clear. The main tree line is back here, so it's getting the back of the house in through here in this valley. The rest of the stuff that we're seeing in these gutters, little bit of debris that's been blown to the ends. Yes, it does need to be cleared. And a bunch of roof silt. And you're gonna get that from any roof system and any gutter system. A lot of your debris will bunch to the corner, so you've got to clean it. Most of this debris in this gutter is not leaves. It's all grit and granules from the roof. The debris is clogging near the downspouts, and they just need to be cleared probably once a year, and these people will be fine. You know, you got to look out for these torn ridge shingles. We catch them. A good gutter cleaning company will catch them. House like this, handy charges something like this about $120 to clean the gutters. Most gutter companies on something like this are $250. But the difference is that's all they do. We do everything. So when we come out here, there's probably some repair work for us to do, some handyman work. We do all the little stuff. We like to think we know something. If you care to share this, certainly send us an email. You can reach me at handyandyhome@aol.com or online at www.handyandyhome.com or 770-912-2829. I hope this has been helpful and it's solved some questions for you. It's posed some riddles for me, but we'll certainly be here to do this the right way, the Handy Andy way for this particular customer. Take care. Bye-bye now.